Kevin Blackburn. Kevin is Oakland City Council District 2 candidate and an Assistant Vice President for the Federal Home Loan Bank. First of all, Kevin, tell my viewers about yourself and about what you do.
Before I do that, Zinni, let me thank you for having me on your show and on the web.
Technical difficulties aside.
We're
getting there.
Those things happen.
We're getting there.
So I am a fourth generation Oaklander. My son is now fifth generation. Husband and father, and I'm 55, so 47 of my 55 years have been spent in District 2. So one, I love Oakland. And as many of Oaklanders do, I live in Oakland by choice. Because I value it as a city, I value the person that has made me. And my family, I've got like 6 family members that are homeowners in District 2. One of my brothers, cousins. So our family is invested in Oakland, and I'm invested in Oakland. My mother graduated from University High, and unless you have been around Oakland for a long time, most people don't even know what University High is.
That's true, yeah.
University High is the former Grove Street College campus, which became Merritt College, which is now Oakland Children's Hospital Research Facility. My father graduated from McClymonds.
My mom got her AA there.
Yeah. My grandfather went to Clawson Elementary School. He finished 8th grade, but he became an Oakland firefighter and was the second black lieutenant in the Oakland Fire Department. My family's been here a long time. What do I do at the Federal Home Loan Bank in San Francisco? Most people don't know what the Federal Home Loan Bank is. It's kind of a mysterious organization because we don't have any retail customers. We're an institution that was created by the federal government in 1932 with the Federal Home Loan Bank Act. And the purpose for our existence is to provide liquidity to savings and loans, credit unions, banks, insurance companies, and community development financial institutions who engage in mortgage lending. We are owned cooperatively by 300 and a little over 350 member institutions, both large banks, the ones we all know, Wells Fargo, B of A, Chase, and community banks. Bank of the Bay, Oakland One, credit union. So we're a broad spectrum. The value that we bring to the marketplace is that organizations that originate mortgages, those members of ours, pledge the mortgages as collateral to us in exchange for liquidity, so they can then in turn go out and originate more mortgages. During the financial crisis, when the mortgage collapse occurred, we put in a little over $300 billion in liquidity into the marketplace in a 2-month span. And that really stabilized the market and helped to keep us from going from the Great Recession going into another depression.
Right.
In addition to that, 10% of the profits that we make on an annual basis are given away in the form of grants for affordable housing. So since that program went into effect in 1990, the bank has given away nearly almost $800 billion now. We're a little under $1 million, in grants for affordable housing projects throughout California, Nevada, and Arizona, which is the 3-state region that we serve.
Right.
And then other areas that our members serve. So in Oakland, for example, in Congresswoman Lee's district, we've provided a little over $30 million in grants in the 13th Congressional District alone.
Right.
So that's kind of a little bit about the Federal Home Loan Bank. What I do within that context is to work with members of Congress, with their staffs, with stakeholder organizations like the National Association of Home Builders, like the American Bankers Association, Independent Community Bankers, banker associations in California, Nevada, and Arizona, and civil rights organizations that work in housing and social justice related to housing and housing policy. I work with affordable housing organizations to craft policies around housing finance and affordable housing. And so what that work has done over the last 10 years that I've been with the Home Loan Bank is really helped me understand a couple of things in particular. And one is that policy really drives legislation.
Yep.
And when policy priorities are established, they then drive the legislation to enact those policy priorities. So in the case of the federal government following World War II, for example, the government made a decision that they wanted to take care of the veterans and give the veterans an opportunity to become homeowners. And so home ownership became a public policy priority for the United States. And the FHA was created, the VA was created, there were mechanisms put in place that ensured that veterans were able to buy a home. That maintained that policy of home ownership continued through the creation of Freddie Mac that came out of the Federal Home Loan Bank system, and Fannie Mae, which was developed to provide a source of liquidity for the banks because Freddie Mac was for savings and loans. And those were done to, again, provide liquidity to provide a broader base of home ownership to the general public, right? And from a wide swath of economic interests, from the low to moderate income family to the high income buyer. It provided a tool, but the priority, the public policy priority, was home ownership. So how do we translate that into Oakland today? Right?
What made you come to run the council?
Well, yeah. So because I love Oakland, because I'm invested in Oakland, and because I think that Oakland has been, for the last 30 years, there's been a lot of talk of the potential in Oakland.
Right.
We finally have reached a confluence of events that Oakland is going to grow with me, without me. It's going to grow with you or without you because of the increase in real estate prices here in San Francisco. I mean, we're now at $100 a square foot in San Francisco for office space.
Yeah.
Exorbitant amount of money, right? So certainly there's going to be the people crossing the bay to come into Oakland. What I think is critical is how do we, number one, shape public policy priorities as a city to drive the legislation to capture this natural growth that's going to occur and ensure that all of the citizens of Oakland can benefit from it, and that what we've seen happen in San Francisco doesn't happen in Oakland. What do I mean by that? There is a lack of diversity in San Francisco today.
Right.
That has largely been driven by the increase in real estate prices. Right. So some people have decided that were homeowners, have decided to cash out and move to other cities. Some people that are renters have been driven out because the cost of their rentals have increased and made it unaffordable. I'm running for city council in Oakland because I think it's important that we capture the growth, but that we don't neglect the diversity that makes Oakland what it is.
And what was your aha moment? When did you just say, you know what, doggone it? Because you got a bit of a, well, not quite a late start, but a little late. Sure.
Because I've been encouraged by many people to run. So it took me a little longer because I was meeting with a lot of folks. I've been meeting with a lot of folks, and I have continued to get encouragement with each meeting.
Yeah.
So,
any backers yet? Or?
I have quite a few backers. I don't think at this time I'm not ready to say who they are, but I've got a lot of folks who have said yes.
You met with Pat Kernahan?
I have met with Pat.
Yeah.
And Pat actually told me, she said, Kevin, I'm not prepared to endorse anybody at this time. She said, but I'm very comfortable with the candidates, most of the candidates that are running. She said, when I made the decision not to run, I was concerned that someone might get in the race and win and not really represent the interests of the district well. She said, but I'm comfortable with the candidates that are there now. With ranked choice voting, I have the ability to endorse more than one candidate.
Right.
And that time will come, and we'll see what happens. So I told her that I didn't anticipate that. After
Come
our
on,
first,
Pat, cough it up.
After our first meeting, I'd get an endorsement, but that I would earn her endorsement. And I feel the same way about the votes of with the citizens of Oakland in District 2. You may, if you don't know me, then you need to get to know me.
Right.
And when you get to know me, I think you'll recognize that I can bring value to the city. I can bring value to the way that the city governs itself. I think that certainly with the new class of city council folks that were elected, we've seen a much more adult discourse at the council level.
Let me ask you one question about.
I think I can just help with that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I say that because due to some technical difficulties, we're going to do another video, but this one will wrap up about 3 minutes.
Okay.
The police issue. Do we need more police or less?
I think we do need more police. Okay. Without question. I think that right now the perception for many is that Oakland is closed for business and open for crime. And I think we need to flip the script on that and say Oakland is open for business and it's closed for crime. And the way that we accomplish that is by putting more officers on the street. Obviously, we have to pay for them. We're at 616 officers or so now. We've got a class that's in the academy. We've got funding for another class with the objective of putting another 100 officers on the street. I think that's good. And I think that will help because Oakland needs to be safe.
Right.
And it needs to be a city that really works, and there are a lot of elements to that. And it needs to be a city that learns.
Do you have any thoughts of the private security issue where that one security officer
got shot? Where he shot someone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I think that the reason why the ballot measure didn't pass was because the citizens have not trusted City Hall to do the right thing with the funding. And so hiring private security is an interim step. And I think that gaining the trust of City Hall will cause people like myself to say, okay, I'll pay for, or I'll approve the ballot measure, and I'm willing to pay for additional support. That $90 now, there's a measure that's gonna come to the ballot, and it'll be probably $200.
Kevin, we're going to come back to you very soon in a couple of days with another interview because of without the technical issues that I'm dealing with.
You're running out of memory.
Slightly. That's the. But but you'll get more than one bite at the apple.
All right. Well, I look forward
like
to
Dana King. I had to break her up for another reason.
Okay. I look forward to continuing the dialogue with you.
Get it.